I think everyone forgot that this car existed, living underneath the shadows of the 2-litre Mazda 3 Liftback. So what we want to find out today is whether this car, a smaller engine Mazda 3 Liftback, cheaper price, is worth your consideration, and whether that 1.5 litre engine affects its character at all. With the 1.5 litre engine running the show, that aspect of the car will always take center stage. Now what we want to find out is whether that affects the whole idea behind the Mazda 3, which is like a sporty driving car. Now the published power figures doesn't help its cause, but trust us, it's not all about what's written on a piece of paper. But here's a warning, if you're not used to Mazda prices, this might disappoint you.
To begin, this seemingly small naturally aspirated Skyactiv G engine generates 118 horsepower and 153 Nm of torque. Given that the numbers are close to what one would find in B segment of other makes, i.e. the Honda City or the Toyota Vios, or even the brand's own Mazda 2, giving this hatchback a miss isn't a hard decision to make. However, perception changes the moment you give this Mazda 3 a go.
But the Mazda 3 is not a fast car, nor does it give that rush you get from a turbocharged car at full bore, whether you're buying a 1.5 litre Mazda 3 or a 2 litre Mazda 3.
Instead, the Mazda 3 accelerates with purpose and poise. The naturally aspirated engine's linear drive from 1500 rpm to 4000 rpm is soulfully satisfying. Mechanical wonders of the Skyactiv G have made a world of difference in making the 1.5 litre engine act like a 2 litre engine, one from Mazda's past cars.
Around town, this car is comfortable with enough grunt at the low RPM range, perfect for exiting corners to join the traffic flow. Yet the engine does not let you forget that it's a 1.5 litre mill, because travelling at highway speed uncovers the huskiness of the engine as you have to work it harder to gain some speed.
Transferring power to the wheels is shouldered by Mazda's own 6-speed automatic transmission. It shifts with the quickness of a fast dual clutch while remaining linear from a standstill right up to its final drive. Flick the transmission into sport if you want the gears to hold steady until the engine hits close to the red line before engaging the next ratio. But even then, I feel like the transmission has a good brain as it holds the gears if you want to overtake.
Okay, the chassis in the Mazda 3 puts the power that it has to good use. It has good balance, it is disciplined, and the body doesn't roll as much. Turn the wheel hard into a corner and there's not much body roll, and you don't shift from side to side in your seat, testament to the chassis and of course the very supportive seats. The body even remains calm on uneven roads that are off camber. It just kind of soaks it up and provides you with confidence to take the corner, and you don't feel like you're going to lose grip.
You often read about Mazda's steering quickness and precision, and the Mazda 3 is no different. What that translates into is communicating exactly and immediately on the road. More sublime than the handling is Mazda's 3's ride. Despite running on 205/60 R16 tyres, the ride is a touch firmer than the conventional Japanese setup, but not as jarring as those you'll find on a typical German make. The suspension does well to dispel impacts and dissolve harshness without thought. More importantly, if you didn't already know, a torsion beam is holding the fort in the rear, but you wouldn't even notice the difference really.
It's not just the suspension that is responsible for this ride's comfort. The seats too play a big role, and I don't usually normally talk about seats, but the seats in this car is quite impressive. It just kind of cradles your derriere and keeps you upright, giving you this center of gravity feeling, which is definitely nice if you're going for a spirited drive. Now, you'd think it'll just be available in the front, but actually all seats provide this kind of controlled feeling.
What adds to its premium and comfortable feeling is its NVH. In this Mazda 3, Mazda has reduced the size and number of apertures to seal off sound intruding the cabin, making it quieter.
Considering this is the cheaper Mazda 3 Liftback, they have not skimmed on things that make your life better.
No matter what your music tastes are, only crisp and clear sounds are channeled through the standard sound system. Yes, there's no 10-speaker Bose system, but you won't need to have it with this kind of sound. Plus, the engine makes a nice sound, and I like how it sounds.
This car is cheaper, not cheap. It is a premium feeling car. All the touch points, everything from the rotary knobs to the touch points, everything feels quality. Now, of course, if you're not obsessed about these things, you won't notice it. But these are the things that elevate the experience of the Mazda 3.
Believe it or not, space is something Mazda has improved from the previous generation. Strutting around with a torsion beam at the back does free up more space in the boot, which is now deeper and wider. However, just like the more expensive Mazda 3 Liftback, rear space is still not the best, sacrificing it for a sexy roofline.
Okay, so after spending some time with the Mazda 3 Liftback in 1.5 litre form, it's clear to see that this car deserves more attention than it often gets. Yes, although the stipulated power doesn't impress, actually the magic happens on the road. Okay, the 1.5 litre Liftback obviously live underneath the shadow of the 2 litre Liftback, but let me tell you this, it holds its own. It offers a refined drive, a premium feeling interior, and a very sweet car to own.